Hi Titans, thank you for joining us today for our Healthy Eating During Finals webinar. I am your host and presenter for today. My name is Lupe Tinoco Oliveros and I am the Programming Graduate Assistant at TUFFY'S Basic Needs. I will go through my presentation and then we'll have some time at the end for moderated Q&A. You're able to submit questions at any time into the chat to TUFFY'S Basic Needs and I will answer them at the end. Also, before we get started, I want to let you know that the webinar is being recorded and it will be posted on our TUFFY'S Basic Needs website. We kindly ask that you keep yourself muted during the presentation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so we're going to start off with a quick Zoom poll here. So let me go ahead and launch the poll. Okay, so this is just to see people's perceptions about this topic, right? There's no right or wrong answer, so feel free to answer as candidly as you feel comfortable with, and then we'll go over the results afterwards. Okay, so how important is it for you to eat healthy? A lot of folks said that it's very important, right? Share that sentiment. Yeah, it's important for many of us to eat healthy. True or false? It is easy to eat healthy during finals. Common answer is false. Yes, it is actually quite difficult to eat healthy during finals, right? You have many competing priorities, and healthy eating usually is not one of those top priorities for a lot of college students. So I feel that. And do you think eating healthy while studying makes a difference in your academic performance? Most common answer is yes. So I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I want to thank you all for your participation. So does eating healthy during finals matter? So yes, it does, right? As you indicated before. Why? Because not all foods are created equal. Your body needs both calories and nutrients to function. Nutrients are essential for building and repairing tissue and regulating body processes, whereas calories give you the energy to keep going throughout the day, right? But there are foods that are high in nutrients and low in calories, like vegetables. And then there are foods that are high in calories and low in nutrients. For example, a muffin. And of course, there are foods that are somewhere in between. But why is it important to know this? Well, food is fuel for our bodies, right? The better the fuel, the better you're able to function and to perform. For example, carbs, proteins, and healthy fats can help keep your energy high and improve memory and focus. These are foods that are more nutrient dense, usually. On the other hand, processed and refined sugars are not nutrient dense, right? The sugar provides quick energy, but very little nutrition. And with this, I also want to mention that my goal overall for this presentation is not to tell you what foods you need to cut from your diet, but rather to provide information about what foods are good to add to the diet you already have. And also, the presentation covers general suggestions for foods, but when it comes to applying it to your own personal life, keeping, I guess, into consideration your own dietary and cultural needs and restrictions. All right, so another Zoom poll. Let me ask you this. Does the type of food really matter when it comes to studying? We're gonna launch that poll. Give me a second. Okay. Answer is yes, no, not sure. I'll give you a couple seconds for that. All right, so thank you for participating. Yes, certain foods can boost brain power and productivity. This was a bit of a trick question since I kind of gave you the answer in the previous slide, but like I mentioned, certain foods, right, can decrease your focus and lead to sluggishness, where other ones can give you like that much needed focus and that you need to be productive during finals. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the top 5 foods that are linked to better brain power. First one is leafy greens and veggies. This includes kale, spinach, collards, and broccoli. Research suggests that these foods may help slow cognitive decline, so they actually help with focus and memory. Not sure how to add green veggies to your meals? Well, the easiest is to create a salad, right, that includes things like kale, spinach, and broccoli. Or you can opt in for meals that you can customize, like a burrito bowl or a sub, um, or a rice bowl, and where you could do maybe like half rice, half salad, or you can swap one of the sides for broccoli, or you can add spinach onto your subs. A second brain power food is fatty fish. So fatty fish is good for omega-3, or fatty fish are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which are healthy unsaturated fats that can help lower blood pressure and have been linked to prevent the development of damaging clumps in the brain for people with Alzheimer's disease. Some examples of fatty fish include salmon, cod, canned light tuna, and pollock. These are also varieties that are low in mercury. And you can make, for example, a tuna salad, and you can eat that with veggies or even in a sandwich. And if you're not a fan of fish or are vegetarian or vegan, you can find omega-3 sources in other foods such as flax seeds, avocados, and walnuts. You can add avocados to a variety of meals. It's a very, very versatile food. And you can also include walnuts into your meals as a snack, or I'll talk a little bit more about walnuts later. Welcome back. The next brain food are berries. So in 2012, researchers at Harvard, Brigham, and Women's Hospital found that women who consumed 2 or more servings of strawberries and blueberries each week delayed memory decline by up to 2.5 years. So berries are great food for improving memory. My favorite way of adding berries to my meals is during breakfast, either an oatmeal or with Greek yogurt. I personally enjoy adding them to my yogurt, and I also add like almonds and nuts to give it an extra crunch. But you can also create a trail mix with nuts, dried berries, and other healthy items for a power snack, or you can just eat berries on their own as a healthy snack. All right, the next one is tea and coffee. So in a 2014 study published by the Journal of Nutrition, participants with higher caffeine consumption scored better on tests of mental function. Also, caffeine has been linked to solidify new memories. However, this applies to unsweetened teas and coffee, because once sugar is added, it takes away from those benefits and can lead to a sugar crash after that initial energy spike. Also, caffeine should be consumed in moderation, right? Small amounts can help boost focus and energy, but too much caffeine can give you the jitters, and increase anxiety. And if you're not into coffee, green tea is a great supplement. All right. Our fifth and last superfood is walnuts. So nuts are great sources of protein and healthy fats. In 2015, a study from UCLA linked higher walnut consumption to improved cognitive test scores. And walnuts also contain a type of omega-3 fatty acids that helps lower blood pressure and protects arteries. So it's good for the heart and for the brain. As I mentioned earlier, you can add walnuts to your oatmeal or Greek yogurt, mixing some berries there if you feel. You can also add them as salad toppers in trail mix, or you can eat them on their own as a healthy snack. Okay, so pop quiz. You should avoid caffeine. So let me go ahead, pull up this quiz, give you a couple seconds to casting your vote. Okay, so many of you said it depends. Yeah, it does. It does depend. So this was just a little bit of a trick question to see if you were listening as I talked about coffee in my previous slides, but coffee and those kind of like energy enhancing drinks are very popular among college students. So I wanted to go a little bit more in depth into this. So plain coffee and tea are healthier caffeine options than sugary coffee and tea beverages or even energy drinks. Um, Healthy amounts of caffeine can help boost focus and energy, but as I mentioned before, too much can cause dehydration, impact motor skills, increase anxiety, and just make it difficult to focus, right? Which is the exact opposite of what we're trying to achieve. Also, if you do decide to drink caffeine, because let's be honest, a lot of us will, make sure that you drink plenty of water so you don't dehydrate. Something I do in between my cups of coffee is that, I drink my cup of coffee and then I drink a glass of water in between, and then I alternate in between. So just making sure that um, I keep myself hydrated throughout. We have another poll. All right. True or false? Even though you're not moving too much when studying, you still need to drink water to stay hydrated. I'll give you a couple seconds to fill this out. Okay. So true. Staying hydrated is key to healthy eating during study sessions. Once in a while, make sure that you ask yourself, are you drinking enough water throughout the day? And another tip that really has helped me is keeping my water bottle visible as a reminder to stay hydrated. So every time I look at my water bottle, I'm like, oh, I should probably get a drink. Also, dehydration can often be mistaken for hunger. So again, once in a while, ask yourself, when was the last time that you ate or drank? If you ate recently but haven't drunk enough water, your body can start to crave food even when it's not hungry. And last point with water here is to stick with water, right? Beverages with high sugar content can lead to sugar rushes and crashes. If you're not a fan of water, right, maybe sticking with low sugar drinks um, as an alternative option. Okay, another poll, last one, I promise. Okay, true or false? You should eat a large or heavy meal before studying. Okay, so false. You should avoid eating a large meal or a heavy meal before studying because they can make you feel sluggish, right? It's a good idea to try to avoid that uncomfortable feeling of feeling slow after you've had a big meal. Also, eating consistently is going to help your energy levels remain constant throughout the day. And I point this out because sometimes I would try to justify myself with eating a large meal in the morning, like, oh, I wouldn't have to eat till dinner time, right? But you often I often found myself slumping towards at 2 3 p.m. And I had to eat again. So um, eat or take a nap. Um, so eating foods that are digested slowly. These are usually nutrient dense foods. Eat foods that are digested slowly. You'll feel fuller for longer. For example, whole grains, fresh vegetables, and lean proteins like poultry, fish, dairy, beans, eggs, and tofu. Those are all types of food that can help you feel full for longer. And again, when considering meals, right, and applying them to your own life, right, keep in mind those cultural or dietary needs and restrictions for yourself. Okay, so it's common that during finals, college students tend to snack a lot, right? And that's okay. It's just important to be mindful what types of snacks we consume. So healthy snacks are those that are low in added fat and sugars, but high in fibers, proteins, and water. For example, fruits, veggies, and whole grain chips are great options. Also, another idea is to pack healthy snacks rather than purchasing readily available snacks. Um, it's more cost effective and they're customizable. Something that I like to do is I go to Winko's and I buy from their bulk bins to create my own trail mixes. And then when I'm home, I just mix it all in a jar and I usually keep it under my desk. It's easily accessible and it's usually a lot cheaper than buying like those pre-made snacks. And I get to choose what I want in my trail mix. Um, so also, if you have a sweet tooth, um, you need something sweet, reach for dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is at least 70% cacao, so it's more cacao than sugars, and it has antioxidants and even a little bit of caffeine to provide a small boost of energy. Uh, okay. I want to give a quick shout out to our partners at Titanwell because they provide health and nutrition assistance all semester long. So some of their services include Food Education Live. So with these, they do a live demo of affordable, nutritious, and quick recipes that you can do at home. And I believe if you check on their website, they have 3 left for the semester. So if you go onto their website, you can register and sign up to be part of those live demonstrations. Also, they have recorded workshops on their YouTube channel and interactive webinars on their website that you can, check out and revisit anytime that is convenient for you. If you prefer an individual consultation, you can meet with a registered dietitian or with the peer health educators. And you can go ahead and set up that consultation by contacting the number that you see on the screen. Also, if you follow them on social media, they often post recipes and tips to improve overall wellness and nutrition. So feel free to give them a follow. And I'll pause for a couple seconds for you to take a screenshot or write down their contact information. Okay, so I'm still talking about the snacks here. So some examples of some healthy snacks include pairing fiber and protein as a combination. This combo helps you stay full for longer, right? These are power snacks. As you see in the image here, some combinations include like an apple and a kind bar, some fresh carrots and some string cheese, some chobani and oat cereal. So these are some options for healthy snacking. Another example are Tuffy balls. So this is actually a really tasty and very easy to make snack. Really, all you do is combine all the ingredients that you see here. And if there's an ingredient there that you don't like, you can easily pick it out or swap it for something else. This recipe creates about 20 to 25 different portions. So you just keep them in your fridge and in a container, and they're good for up to a week. And as you see, the ingredients here are all great ingredients that help boost productivity, help boost focus and memory. So these are a great snack for studying for finals. Okay, so how can you plan to eat healthy during finals? One, you can set food rules for yourself. So for example, I'll try to limit my soda consumption these next 2 weeks in exchange for some green tea, right? That's an example of a food rule. But also be realistic with yourself, right? If it's something that you feel might be too stressful or you're probably not going to keep up with. Either make some adjustments and modifications or try to swap it with something else, right? The last thing you want is to create more additional stress for yourself. Another option is to eat balanced meals. Balanced meals are composed of protein, grains, and veggies. So don't forget also to skip meals. Inconsistent meals can lead to energy crashes throughout the day. And a gentle reminder that snacks are not meals. Although, yes, they can help you feel fuller faster and for longer, right? They're not meals. So even healthy snacks, make sure that you're eating consistent meals throughout the day and you're fueling your body. Another option is to have a backup plan. So if you do have to go out to eat, what are some balanced options that are available near you? It helps to keep a list on your phone or even on a sticky note next to your workplace somewhere of places and options around your neighborhood that are balanced. That way, if you're like, damn, I'm very short on time, I need to grab something quick, there's a list of places and of food options that you can reach out and check out. Also, prepare in advance if possible. Preparing meals and snacks in advance can really help with sticking to healthier food options, and it helps save time in the long run, right? Let's say it's 10 minutes right before one of your study sessions, you don't have time to prepare a meal, but you remember that you prepared some pasta in advance and you could just pop it into the microwave. So in the long term, it helps you save time and stress. Another great option to prepare in advance is overnight oats. You could just leave the oats in the fridge the night before, and in the morning they're ready to eat. Another thing I want to mention is to continue making and eating foods that you enjoy. Food is fuel, right? But I'm a strong believer that food is also joy. And if there's anything that we could use when, in these last 2 weeks of the semester, it's joy. So whenever you do decide to indulge in foods that bring you joy, right, just keep in mind that balance and moderation is key. To end our presentation, I wanted to share some resources that might be helpful to you. For example, Budget Bytes and CalFresh Healthy Eating are websites where you can find budget-friendly recipes and meals. Here you can see an example of 30 easy recipes for college students that you can find at Budget Bytes. Those are great websites and very easy to use as well. Cronometer is a free app that helps you track nutrition, fitness, and health data. If you needed something a little bit more systematic, a little bit more strategic, the app can really help you kind of keep it all organized and in one place. Also, can't forget about Pinterest. It's my go-to app for easy and fast and cheap recipes. And lastly, I need to give TUFFY'S Basic Needs a shout out. We have had some webinars that have been recorded and are posted up on our website and our YouTube channel. So, for example, in our Spend Smart, Eat Smart webinar, our guest gives us a lot of great tips and tricks for maximizing our budgets at the grocery store, and also a ton of other tips that I didn't have time to get around to in this webinar about how to eat nutritiously on a budget. So go ahead and check that website out if you haven't already. And also another great resource is CalFresh. So CalFresh is a food assistance program that can help you obtain funds for groceries. And if you want to learn more about the program, how it works, to determine if you're eligible, and even how to apply, you can go ahead and check out our CalFresh videos as well. Okay, so that about wraps up this presentation, and now I'm going to move on to our Q&A portion. So, okay, one question that we have is, I typically find myself not having enough time in the day to cook up a whole meal. Do you have other resources or recommendations of where I can find quick meal ideas? So, great question. I can share some things that have personally worked really well for me. So as I mentioned, Pinterest is usually my go-to for fast and affordable meals. Um, Also, I want to share that the simplest meals are the easiest meals. So I have Googled, like just done a Google search of like 5 ingredient recipes, right? And you'll be surprised. There's a lot of recipes out there. Um, and there's a lot of really great ideas. If it's less than 5 ingredients, even better. I would also recommend Aldi's, but I am aware that Aldi's isn't accessible or available to everybody. Um, but if you do have one near you, their layout is purposely made for you to shop quick, and they offer prepared proteins, frozen veggies, and great aisle items that are really affordable. I'm usually in and out of that store really fast. And since they have food that is already so like conveniently prepped, it's really fast for me to like whip up a meal after I go shopping there. Aldi's is great. Okay. Next question is, what do you recommend as must-have items if I'm on a very limited budget and I still want to eat healthy? So I think this depends. I'll share what I usually do. So I try to think of keeping a balance right between carbs, proteins, and healthy fats. So, for example, I love sandwiches. I could eat sandwiches for days. And so a budget meal for me and a balanced meal for me would be like, having whole wheat bread, some sliced turkey, and some avocados, right? And I usually just whip up some avocado turkey sandwiches with some mustard, and I could eat that forever. Um, other staple items for me include like oatmeal and brown rice. In terms of proteins, for me, it's like spinach, eggs, and some canned tuna. As I mentioned, I love sandwiches, so tuna sandwiches are also a great and delicious meal I like. And for like healthy fats, usually like my my trail mix, as I mentioned, and tuna also double dips as a healthy fat. So as I mentioned, avocados are my go-to as well. Uh, but I really think it helps when you're able to identify foods or recipes that you know are fast and easy and that you enjoy, um, right? And determine for yourself, like, what is the absolutely necessary for me to have, um, that is also balanced. Uh, but I hope that helped, um, and answered your question. Okay, so it seems like we have no more questions, but I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Feel free to email me or Tuffy's Basic Needs if you have any additional questions. And I do want to remind you that this was recorded and it'll be available on our website and YouTube channel next week. Also, good luck with finals, everybody, and I hope you have a great day.